witness one here. So it's like 8 o'clock, past 8 o'clock at night up here in the mountains. See them up there? I'm like at the furthest there is any kind of roads around here. There's no more roads past this road I'm on. And I was driving up here from this direction over here, and I saw, I don't know what it was, but see where that second limb right up there is? There was two of them. One was huge, and I didn't see it very well. And the other one, they were black, and they weren't no bears. There wasn't no mountain lion, and it wasn't a fox or a coyote or a wolf or anything like that. But one of them was huge, and the way they walked and they ran just blew my mind. It was like a weasel or something. Like they have these giant weasels up here called fisher weasels, and Wolverine. I've seen Wolverines before. Way. You wouldn't see a Wolverine here. He'd be way up beyond that even. Up where the trees don't grow anymore because it's so high. But these two creatures, whatever they were, I'm calling them creatures. It had a big, giant, bushy tail, but it was low to the ground. And the little one was huge. You know what I'm saying? And I saw them right past here. And they went right down here, down this trail, or down this area right here. See how it's open and everything down there? And I pulled my car up here as quickly as I could. But at first I stopped by. I was like, what in the hell are those? And they went right down in here. And this is what it's like from on the road. And I don't know what they were. Truly, I don't. I've never seen anything like that. I wish I could have got a better look at the big one. Because the little one was, huge. Huge, big as a large coyote. And the other one was freaking bigger than that. And it wasn't no wolves or nothing, no black wolves. It was something else, I've had some strange encounters with wolves through my spiritual journey up here, but those were something I've never seen before. I was looking for tracks in this puddle. And the weird thing is, I think I've been coming up here doing the black magic, because I was up here the other day, and there was people are up here hunting, and right up here in this area, I'll show it to you. The switchback, kind of. You can't go any further down here because all the windstorm and falling all the trees on the road, and they ain't let nobody. They don't like people going back there, so they fall trees on purpose on the roads, and then they'll come through and move them out of the way when they're scared somebody's gonna sabotage them power lines that are up there. See them power lines? Yeah. And there was 2 trucks up here. And there's a bunch of young punk kids. I thought there was people in the woods hitting me with weapons. I used to think they wouldn't give those weapons to anybody, but I think they give them to your freaking neighbors now. I mean, this thing, what I heard today from a woman who worked from the Department of Defense that is now a target, I seen an interview with her. What she exposed was just like, holy cow, you know, it's this thing. There's no way out of this thing for us guys. But anyways, there was a truck parked here and one parked here, and they stayed here for 9 hours. There was a bunch of punk kids, but they had these mountain lion dogs. They had on the back of their truck, they had these kennels that they put all these dogs in. He must have had at least 10 or 15 dogs. And they stayed in this spot. One truck parked here and one truck parked here. And so when I come pulling up from this direction, there was guys laying in the freaking road. I don't know if it's street theater or what, and they were all dressed in camo. And those guys weren't with the other guys when they first come pulling up that I saw. But like I said, we're chipped. You understand? We're chipped. There ain't no, you could throw your phone away, throw your car away, throw all that shit and walk in these mountains, and they will come. They will come. You are U.S. government property that they are doing transhuman experimentation on. And they want those chips back. If you went to the doctor to try to get help, you would get none. The doctor would be flabbergasted. The woman was talking about one of her friends went to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor was blown away by what she saw in her eye, that there was she called it a mechanism in her eye that was so intricate that the woman was like, well, can you take it out? And she's like, no, you would lose your eye. You get what I'm saying? They are doing eugenics and transhumanism experiments on all the TIs. You understand? You're chipped all over. They are poisoning you with different gases that they come up with. That's what they're poisoning you. You're just a giant human lab rat. That's all you are. And that's all you're ever going to be. And if you think God's going to help you, you can pray all you want. But Jesus prayed, let this cup pass from me. And God said, no. You understand? What, my God, you have forsaken me. All the apostles, everybody had some horrible death. Now, everybody who had a good ending, those were in the Old Testament. And, before Jesus came. Don't think you're going to go from the pit to the palace like Joseph, or you're going to be like David and become second in command. Those were all bloodlines of Jesus. Everybody who else look, Stephen got stoned. So I'm just being honest with you. You can pray all you want. I've been praying for 50 years for things to change and to find out that I'm just a lab rat for the government, and always have been. I can look back at it in my life now and see that that's what I was. I could see my family's all in it. I could see all these experiments being done on me and everything else. You understand? All the horrible post-traumatic stress stuff and the trauma-based mind control and the MK Ultra and the satanic ritual abuse, all that. Every single last bit of it. You get it? That's where you're at. So you need to wake up. And I'm not saying God ain't real. But do you expect to see the part and you're going to get across there and God's going to miraculously dump the sea and kill all these fools? I don't think so. When have you heard a story like that? I'm just being honest. Let's just be honest here. I'm just telling you. They will kill you. These people are doing it for gift cards. They'll give it to your neighbor. A weapon, one of those handheld weapons. They have them rigged up. That's why when you drive down the road and when the car gets too close, you start feeling it because the lady said it's all hooked up in the cars. Get it? Some of you have bad health issues. That's because the chips and everything are deteriorating. They're wanting to see what'll do what with what. Everybody's just a different hodgepodge. It's like the military guys. They use them to do experimentations on. That's why a lot of them wind up homeless and stuff, because they done signed their rights over and they belong to the U.S. government. Get it? Us? They created this organization that just randomly puts people that they're looking for on a list, because they got to do all these experimentations in the technology on humans. Get it? Just like the concentration camps. Except they ain't rounding you up. They're letting you run around here. When's the last time you thought straight? Most of everybody here, a lot of them are hearing voices and stuff like that. You can't even trust your own thoughts. You know? These fools have got this thing on lockdown. And we don't fit in it. We're just test runs for the new technology to the people who can afford it. It's like when I did the research on where I kept running into these blood drives. And I finally did enough research and I found where the blood was going. It was all going to Europe. You understand? And it doesn't matter if you have AIDS or hepatitis, because this guy was tracking the blood that was coming off of these homeless drug addicts off the street in Chicago and tying it into European Switzerland and stuff where they were doing, that's why they want blood so bad, because they can draw the AIDS and the Hep C out of it. They don't even need, it doesn't matter if the blood is tainted like that. They can still make medicine out of it. They were using it. He traced it back and went over to the big blood places where it went over there and asked them what they were doing with it. And they were keeping the rich alive with it, is what he found out. Do the research on it. I was blown away. Don't ever give your blood. Don't ever give your blood. That's why they're always trying to get our blood and everything else. You get it? And so that's where it's all at. And as much as I hate to say it, well, you know, we all need to realize that, you know, sometimes Jesus will give you a hard word. You know, he said, drink my blood and eat my flesh. And everybody turned away from Jesus, a lot of them. Then he looked at the 12 and he says, are you leaving too? And they said, no, you got the words to eternal life. So sometimes the word is a hard word. So that's what I'm delivering to you, is the hard word, the hardest of all. You know, I got to face it. And some of you out there going to have to face it too. So it's time to buck up. You know, this thing is serious business. These people are relentless because there are all these fusion centers are the cause of all this. All these security companies are the cause of all this. You understand? They don't care. They've done this way before we ever came along. They was doing this back to people in the 70s, 80s, and the 60s. Then they started using the direct energy weapons as the technology grew in the 90s. And up until now, Obama did this to you. That's who did it to you. Obama, your buddy. Obama. You know, to get on this list, you know, all he had to do is have two uncredible witnesses say something bad about you. Yep, do the research and you'll find out. That's it. They won't do an investigation on if any of it's true or not. They just automatically put you on the list because some scumbags, some drug addicts said something bad about you. You understand? They're not going to follow it through and see if it was just because they was jealous of you or this or that or the other. They will take the word of two scumbags or anybody and put you on that list. And they do it to people every day, all day long. If you made somebody mad or pissed a cop off or pissed somebody off, they knew that they could do this to you, and they did it. They did it. some of your family did it. You understand? So there you go. These are the hard truths. You're going to have to take that pill and get you a big glass of water and drink it, and drink you a big tall glass and shut the hell up, because ain't nobody going to listen to you. And if you don't shut the hell up, they're going to put you in a mental institution and say you're crazy. They got this thing on lockdown a long time ago. And they're just going to continue to do this. This NSA whistleblower lady said she wrote letters to senators, everybody, over and over and over and over, and never got a response. She said her mom and her dad are still alive and they're in their 90s. She said, but guess what? I have lesions in my brain. I got a bad heart now. When Russia warned us about those tech weapons and used those weapons on the U.S. Embassy, 130 CIA agents, they all retired real quick. They just used it once on them. You understand? One time. How many times they used it on you? And continue to use it on you. You're still alive, walking around. Think about that. You're still alive. I mean, when this thing is so horrible, I mean, you're better off dead than to live this way. And you know what? These people have been doing this since time immemorial. Time immemorial. So, don't know what to say. Don't know what to say. I'm not saying Jesus is real and Jesus can't do miracles and all that stuff. But you know what? He's letting it happen to us. And, there's people dying every day over in Iran, over in Israel and Tel Aviv, and starving and getting blown up. They ain't using tech weapons on them, but they're blowing them up. And we should be so privileged as not to have this stuff happen to. I mean, I'm lucky probably be as old as I am and not be dead by now, because they've been trying to destroy my body for a long time. So what are you going to do? Trump ain't going to help you. Biden ain't going to help. Biden made it worse. If you get a Democrat in there, they're going to up the ante. When Trump got into office, I'll give him that. That stuff kind of eased off a little bit. It did. But for the most part, it's still going on. Trump he calls himself a target. But, he's done a lot of evil stuff to have that stuff come back on him, but he's still rolling around. So if you think it's going to overnight get better and there's going to be a miraculous change, you are highly mistaken. The only thing that can happen now is for the shit to go down. And the rats will be the ones that survive. So, just things to think about. Later.